go.
What is new, YouTube? It's Moosie bringing you guys another Black Ops 3 video. And today we're talking about the update that came out today, April 18th, 2016. I believe right now it's just live on PS4, and that is because it's coming with support for the second DLC, which is only coming out for PS4 until about a month later. It'll come out for the other systems. I'm sure the rest of this update will come out at a later date for the rest of the systems as well. The update is about 1 gigabyte, so it's not that bad compared to some of the other updates, but it is still pretty hefty because, like I said, it has to bring support for the second DLC. So let's actually get into what they did in this patch. They covered a ton of stuff, but I'm just going to try and hit some of the highlights. So there is a bunch of small little housekeeping things is what they call it. Just some bugs, some exploits, some fixes that they can just patch up really quick. And I'm not going to go over all those. The only perk that they did anything to is Anti-Up, which right now isn't really a very well used perk, but they increased the starting score streak amount from 100 to 150. I'm not really sure that's really going to make a difference. But what I thought was interesting is they touched a lot of the specialists. In general, they reduced the specialist earn rate in the hardpoint game type. So if you're playing hardpoint, you're not going to get your specialist as quick. For the Reaper using the scythe, they reduce the accuracy when firing unzoomed, which makes sense. They also reduce the ammo count from 120 to 100. I'm not really sure that'll make that much of a difference, but the scythe is really good, so this may help it balance it out a little bit. Now the Outrider, which I believe is the Sparrow Girl, they increased the first raise speed, which is nice when you first pull out the bow. They increased the ADS speed, they increased the sprint recovery speed, and they increased the ammo count from 8 to 10. The Outrider got a freaking buff. I mean, I don't know if it'll be any better, but I mean, they're making it a little better. For the Spectre, they reduced the leftover power when the Spectre is killed while the Ripper is active. So if you die, but you still have some of your Ripper active, you're not going to get as much of it back. And then for the Ruin, the Nomad, and the Reaper, they increased the Overdrive, Rejack, and the Psychosis earn rate, so you'll earn them a little bit faster. It may come in handy, actually, for many search players. And then for the Firebreak and the Battery, they reduced the Heatwave and the Kinetic Armor earn rate. Now, I wouldn't say any specialists are really overpowered, but those two definitely have a strong advantage. So I don't know, maybe it'll help balance it out if you reduce those a little bit. We'll see. So now we're getting into the guns here. Right here, you can see everything they did with the submachine gun versus a ton, which I said there would be a ton for the submachine guns, but this is a lot more than I thought. And I don't really want to go in depth and take like 10 minutes to talk about all the submachine guns, but right here, you guys can pause it on screen, check out what's happened to each of your favorite guns. You'll see if it's getting better or if it's getting worse. I can tell you right away, the Weevil, the Vesper, the Pharaoh, the Razorback, and the HG40 all got a little buff. Now onto the assault rifles. They buffed the HVK30, which is a little questionable because that gun's actually pretty good. Somehow they continue to buff the ICR and it's still not a very good gun. They buffed the Shiva, what the heck? And they buffed the MX Garand. Naturally, somehow they buffed the shotguns even more. KRM 262 buffed. Haymaker buffed. Argus buffed. And finally, light machine guns here. Take a guess. BRM buffed. Dingo buffed. Gorgon buffed. 48 Dredge, you guessed it, buffed. Another thing that's actually pretty interesting right here is the score streaks that they changed. So the Rolling Thunder, it increased the drone count and increased the entry speed. So this should actually be a little bit better than it is right now. There'll be more planes in the sky and they'll come in a little bit faster so the enemies won't be able to like get inside a building or whatever. May be viable. Also, the wraps. This is insane. They increased the drone count, so there's going to be more wraps on the map than there already is. And they're increasing the movement speed of the wraps. What? Okay, I'm freaking pumped now. And then, as always, they try to do some spawn logic or some spawn fixing on certain maps. In this one, they're saying that they tried to fix Nuketown. I'll believe it when I see it. And then other than that, just little bugs, fixes for zombies. People are finding glitches, so they're patching them, just little things like that. I will have a link to the full patch notes if you guys want to read back through them down in the description below. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Please click that like button down below if you guys did. Sub if you guys have not already. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.